يلا.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين، حبيب إله العالمين أبا قاسم محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعجل فرجهم. I begin in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, the one who has created everything in utmost perfection. Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعجل فرجهم. Tonight is the 13th of the holy month of Ramadan. Inshallah, you guys are all maximizing the benefit of this holy month. Like we've been saying on the first day, the most important thing is learning these rituals very early in the month, so that for the rest of the month, inshallah, you can perform these rituals and you can benefit the most out of your holy month of Ramadan. There was a debate today in the community about whether or not the Quran has been distorted. What distorted means if it's been changed, something has been added, something has been removed, the sequence of which it's been brought down has been changed. Today there was a debate in the community about that, about after the death of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعجل فرجهم. There's a debate on whether or not after the death of the Holy Prophet was something changed about it, was the sequence of it, because today the Quran starts from Surah Al-Fatiha to Surah Al-Nas. Maybe in the time of the Holy Prophet, was it different or was it not, or was it the same? The Quran we have today, was it the Quran of the Holy Prophet? Inshallah, today we're going to be discussing that and what both the Shia and the Sunni say on this. First of all, we're going to go through the types of Tahrif al-Quran. What types are there? There's 4 types, 4 primary main parts and types of Tahrif al-Quran. The first one is changing the meaning of the Holy Quran. So for some people, especially the Shia, Surah Al-Kawthar, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر صدق الله العلي العظيم. For the Shias, most state that this holy surah, this holy ayah, is for Sayyidah Fatima alayhi salam. The Sunnis do not believe that. The Sunnis believe it's just a surah and the meaning is not towards Sayyidah Fatima alayhi salam. So the first one is those who change the meaning. There's some people, for some verses, they completely change the meaning. They completely change it. Like there's a verse in the Holy Quran of there was a man sitting by a blind man, and he looked at him when the blind man sat next to him. He said, why is he gotta sit next to me? Some people were stating the man that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was talking about in that verse was the Holy Prophet. And of course, we know the Holy Prophet is infallible. He would not do such a thing. If a blind man comes and sits next to him, the Holy Prophet's not going to say, why is this man sitting next to me? The Holy Prophet's going to welcome him. So that's the first type of Tahrif al-Quran, those who switch the meaning around so much. The second one is the sequence of events that occurred. Some believe, especially Sunni scholars, there's some Shia scholars, but mostly Sunni scholars, believe that the order of which the Quran is in today is different. People changed it. The reason for that, they believe the Quran that we have today is not the Quran that was at the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
They believe, because there is a hadith that from the Shias that Imam Ali alayhi salam one time walked into the masjid. When he walked into the masjid, there was some companions that had power at that time. They state Imam Ali alayhi salam had his own copy of the Quran. This was after the death of the Prophet, of course. Imam Ali alayhi salam had his own copy of the Holy Quran. He kept it very close to him. At all times it was with him. They said, can we take a look at that Quran? Imam Ali alayhi salam gives them the Quran. When he gives them the Quran, they read it and they state, no, I don't like this. This is not right, the way you're doing it. Now, when people look at this hadith, what do they say? They didn't like it. What does this mean? There's something wrong with it. There's something not right about it. The real reason why they declined it and said, no, we don't want to use this, is because if they use this Quran, it will mess up their political agenda. At that time, the things they were doing were not good things. And Imam Ali alayhi salam's Quran was not a normal Quran. had كل آية كان في تفسير من حدة. It explained every ayah, had notes on the side of it, had everything on the side of it. So when people would read the Quran, some of them, they wouldn't understand it. بيقروه ما يفهموا. They don't understand it. Like today, there's some people, they read the Quran, they don't understand it. It's very high level. This is normal. People reading the Quran and not understanding it. Because it's very advanced. It's the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, it's going to be advanced. Imam Ali alayhi salam had tafsir right by each verse. So if Imam Ali had tafsir by each verse, and the actions they were doing were not good, what would this do? This would mean that if people read the Quran and had a tafsir by each verse, they would easily notice that what they're doing is something very wrong, that this should not be happening. So that would mess up their political agenda a lot. So what did they tell him? No, we don't want to use this Quran. We don't want to use it. Leave. The third type of tahrif al-Quran is adding verses to the Holy Quran, adding words, adding stuff to the Holy Quran that should not be there. Today, most scholars believe that not a lot of adding to the Holy Quran has been made, because there's a verse in the Holy Quran that states, we've brought down this book and we shall protect it from any distortion. Of course, we said the first two types of distortion are happening, but majority it's not happening. So if the Quran had an extra verse, everybody's going to be reading that verse, so it's not going to be affecting everybody. The fourth type of distortion, and some scholars believe this is happening. This has happened. Removing verses from the Holy Quran, taking verses out completely, not mentioning them. Some scholars believe that these actions are happening today. Especially the fourth one, they believe verses are getting removed from the Quran every single day. Of course, not every single day, but back then they believe some verses might have gone missing. And the tafsir of the verses, because we know there was tafsir of all the verses. Imam Ali alayhi salam had his own personal copy, and by each verse there was tafsir. So they believe the tafsir of the verse has gone missing. So if the tafsir of the verses has gone missing, يمكن الآيات ضاعوا كمان. يمكن the verses also went missing at that time. There's also, of course, back then, not all the verses were written on paper. Not all the verses. مش كل الآيات كانوا مكتوبين على الورقة. When the companions used to hear them, maybe they used to maybe write 2-3 verses down. Maybe 3-4 verses. They didn't write all the verses. So some believe maybe some of those verses went missing in history. There's a lot of hadiths that went missing. How come Quran can't go missing? It's just as possible, my brothers and sisters. So the fourth type of tahrif is maybe minusing. There's some verses missing. Scholars highly believe that some verses have gone missing in the Holy Quran. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
وعجل الفرج. ثاني على حب إمام أبو عبد الله الحسين عليه السلام.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
وعجل الفرج. ثالث على حب أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
وعجل الفرج. There is a hadith that Imam Ali alayhi salam was complaining to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about the fact that there's people here contradicting the Quran, people messing up the Quran, removing the sequence of events. Some people believe at that time that the Quran should have been made from how it was brought down on the Holy Prophet Muhammad. So from Surah Al-Alaq until the last revelation he received. Some believe no, it should be brought from the shortest verses to longest verses. Some believe that it should be brought maybe alphabetical order. There was a lot of people that gave their options, how it should be made, how it should be ordered. Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not do that way. Because there's some surahs, let's say Surah Al-Fatiha 7 ayat, right after Surah Al-Baqarah 286 ayat. That's not how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did it. He didn't make it shortest to longest. He didn't make it longest to shortest. You could tell this is not real due to the fact that there's some surahs that, let's say Surah Al-Baqarah 286, the next surah is maybe shorter. The surah right after is maybe longer. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala obviously did not go by what the people were saying, make it alphabetical order, make it like that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not do it like that. We're going to get back to the sequence of events. Some people believe that it was the shaykhin that put the Quran together. That was the shaykhin that determined the sequence of which the Quran is today. Like today we said it's from Surah Al-Fatiha ila Surah Al-Nas. They believe that they are the ones that determined how it was. They say Rasulullah Muhammad did not have a book at the time. How was he recording all of this? Of course, we're just going off based off hadiths. We're not saying what's 100% because nobody that's alive today was alive 1,440 years ago. So nobody can give a first-hand account of what was happening at the time. But according to the hadith, according to Ibn Abbas, there was a time Jibreel came down onto the Holy Prophet. When Jibreel alayhi salam came down onto the Holy Prophet, he told him, they were talking about Surah Al-Baqarah at the time. He told him, put ayah 281 after ayah 280. Of course, when you're hearing this, ayah 281 after ayah 280, of course at that time it wasn't numbered yet. But if he's telling him put ayah 281 after ayah 280, what does that mean? What does that mean? Is he telling him to put it in his head or is he telling him to write it? If he's telling him to put it 281 after 280, that obviously means Rasulullah had some way of remembering the Quran, some way of having a copy of it. So that obviously means Rasulullah had his own personal copy of the Holy Quran, my brothers and sisters. Because there's no way Jibreel is telling him to keep it in his mind and construct the Quran in your mind. He's obviously not telling him that. Because obviously that task is extremely hard. Of course the Holy Prophet can pull it off, but there's no reason Jibreel has to make it very, very hard on him. This shows that the Holy Prophet had a book at the time. He was gathering the entire Quran, my brothers and sisters. Because some believe today that the Holy Prophet did not have a book. And if the Holy Prophet did not have a book, what does that mean? That the shaykhin, they gathered the Quran, they gathered the secrets of events. So my brothers and sisters, the Holy Prophet did have a book at the time. Did have a book. Even in Surah Ahzab, the Holy Prophet was told to put verse 90 after verse 89. There's so much accounts of the angel Jibreel coming down onto the Holy Prophet. A lot of people have witnessed this. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعجل فرجه. My brothers and sisters, inshallah, tomorrow we will discuss the last two types of distortions of the Quran. Inshallah, we're going to get off this topic because I don't like speaking about the same topic for too much in the same day. Inshallah, I'm going to talk about how you can get as close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this holy month. As we've been saying since the first day of the holy month of Ramadan, if you want to get as close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as you possibly can, what should you do? Some quickly will go to maybe, let me read Quran as much as I possibly can. Let me read dua as much as I possibly can. No, my brothers and sisters, that is not how you can get as close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as you possibly can. You get as close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as you possibly can by being a good person. The Holy Prophet said if you want to pass the bridge of Sirat, what do you got to do? You got to improve yourself in the holy month of Ramadan. A lot of people are not getting that fact. They think the most important thing, because of the way they were raised, the most important thing is prayer. The most important thing is reading dua. The most important thing is reading Quran. Of course, these things are important. Of course, they're important. They're very, very important. But it's also important to improve, to excel. Because if you're not improving, that means you're either staying in the same spot or you're going back. And when you're going back, that's a bad thing. Because once you're going back, that means you're not putting any work in to excel. You're not putting any work in to become better at the things you want to do. So in this holy month, excel. Get rid of these bad habits. Some people think Islam is just about prayer. Some people think Islam is just about salah. Some people think it's just about dua. No, my brothers and sisters, we got to show them that Islam also cares about our personal life. Some people think Islam only cares about the akhirah, not about the dunya. Mush mazboot. We gotta show the people that Islam is about the dunya and the akhirah. Of course, Islam cares more about the akhirah, without a doubt. It's just the smarter thing to do, to care about your akhirah more than you care about your dunya. Because in the akhirah, you're getting way more years. In the akhirah, you're getting a life as long as you want. In the dunya, you're getting 80 years. In the dunya, you're getting 90 years, 100 years maybe. In the akhirah, you're getting as long as you want, my brothers and sisters. Like we said, Islam never asked us in the dunya, Islam never asked us of these things. They never told us, pray 24 hours. Islam asked us, live your life. Aish, but live it in a halal way. Live it in the right way. Don't live it doing haram. Don't live it عم بتبيع الآخرة كرمال الدنيا. You're preserving your dunya. You're keeping your dunya safe so you could sell your akhirah. And Islam is still, it's not asking us, Islam عم تقول بيع الدنيا وخلي الآخرة. Islam عم بتقول عيش بالدنيا بس خلي الآخرة. Make sure your akhirah is secured, but we're not telling you forget your dunya completely, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not bring you on this earth for you to be miserable. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not tell you, I've given you free will, but with the way you're acting, it's like you're living in a simulation. This is not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked of us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought us on this earth. He given us free will. We got to do the correct actions. We got to do the right actions, but not to the point where we're not living our life. There was a story that the Holy Prophet Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
A woman came up to the Holy Prophet and told him, my husband has been praying non-stop. He loves the message of Islam so much, he's been praying non-stop, he doesn't want to stop. Now, when people hear this, they say, alhamdulillah, he's praying non-stop. He's praying non-stop, this is an amazing thing. The Prophet quickly went in and spoke to the man. He told him, correct, you're supposed to be praying, but not to this point. It's stated that you're supposed to read Quran, you're supposed to pray, but not to the point where you're stressing yourself out, where you're burning yourself out. The Prophet told him, good, you're praying, but not to the point where you're overdoing it. To the point where you're not even interacting with your own wife. You're not interacting with anybody. This is the Holy Prophet telling him, not some man off the street giving him some facts that are maybe correct, maybe not. This is the Holy Prophet, 100%. He's getting this from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's getting these information, he's getting these facts. So without a doubt, these are 100% correct. Of course, if the hadith is sahih, if it's a correct hadith. I'm just saying what the sources state. They say that the Prophet then goes into his house and tells him, of course you're supposed to pray, of course you're supposed to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but not to this point. Not to the point where you're selling your dunya for your akhirah. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want you selling your akhirah for your dunya, He's not going to want you selling your dunya for your akhirah. He wants you to live in both of them, but not live one overly and not live one too little. Because if you're doing too much in your dunya, and what I mean by doing too much, people can interpret this differently. Either doing good in your dunya too much or doing bad in your dunya too much. Of course, it's more recommended to do good. But like we've been saying, the only thing you're going to take with you is your amal. You're not taking anybody's deeds with you. So at the end of the day, it's all up to you whether you make it into heaven or hell. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to tell you, I've given you free will. It's up to you. I've given you the free will. If you want to make good actions, do good actions. If you don't want to do good actions, don't do good actions. But when the day of judgment comes, which trust me, it will come, it's either you're going to be rewarded and sent to heaven, or you're going to be punished and sent to hell. At the end of the day, it's your choice. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us free will. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not given us free will for us to pray 24 hours. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not given us free will to pray to Him, to read dua, to read Quran 24 hours. He's obviously given us free will so we can live our life, so we can do good in our life, and we can also live our life at the same time. Of course, this does not mean, if somebody says, why are you doing bad? I just heard somebody yesterday saying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not send us to do Quran 24 hours to read. So this is not what I mean. I mean, don't overdo it. Because once you overdo it, listen, once you overdo it, if you're praying 24 hours in a day, or you're praying mustahab prayers, you're overdoing it. عايجة يوم خلينا نفترض ما صليت. ما صليت صلاة المستحب, not wajib. ما صليت مستحب, you're going to beat yourself up over it. Why? Because you gotten so used to it. You want to pray it every day. There's going to come one day where you didn't pray it, and it's going to haunt you. For that day, it's going to haunt you. Oh my God, I never prayed. I never prayed. You're going to start thinking it's mustahab with how consistent you've gotten with it, which of course that's amazing. How consistent you've gotten with it. But once you've done it so much, there's acts you could do multiple times in a day. Once you don't do it for one day, and of course it's mustahab. We said it on the 5th or 6th day. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to judge you for your wajib acts, not your mustahab acts. So if you don't do a mustahab act, don't beat yourself up over it. Don't say, oh, why didn't I do it? Why didn't I do it? At the end of the day, it's mustahab act. It's recommended by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not obligatory on us to do it. So don't beat yourself up over it, my brothers and sisters. أفلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
وعجل فرجه. Also, my brothers and sisters, like we've been saying, in this holy month, begin to learn your religion. For those that are new to Islam, this holy month is your biggest chance to get as close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as you possibly can, like you've been Muslim your entire life. With how acts are multiplied by 1,000. With if you pray Salat al-Layl, the Holy Prophet said, the reward cannot even be described in words. If you're new to Islam, let's say you abandon Islam and you just return back to Islam, this is how you build your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In this holy month, you get as close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We've been saying those who reach such high levels, Salman al-Farisi, let's say for example. How did he reach such high levels? He was first one who believed in the fire. He believed, oh, the fire, if it moves, it's speaking to us. His father used to stay up at night keeping the fire alive because they used to think if the fire goes out, it might not come back up. That means what? The God has disappeared. Salman al-Farisi, a man from Persia who was first Persian, he then became Christian, then became Muslim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Holy Prophet, keep this man close to you. Khali qarib minna. Keep this man close to you. You know who was also on that list? Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. This list is not a list for normal people. This is for people that get as close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as one can possibly. Imam Ali alayhi salam was on that list. And you guys know how close Imam Ali alayhi salam was to the Holy Prophet and to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They made these huge jumps of faith in this holy month. I guarantee you in these holy months, especially the holy month of Ramadan, Imam Ali alayhi salam was not at home sitting ibadah, reading Quran, reading dua. That's what Imam Ali was doing. Abu Dawud al-Ghafari also. Salman al-Farisi, Muqdad ibn. During these holy months, they were at home reading Quran. During these holy months, they were reading dua. Even outside the holy months, they used to see Imam Ali at night before Salat al-Fajr crying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Crying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One who's appointed by God and infallible is crying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at 4 a.m. And keep in mind, if he just listens to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Rasulullah is getting revelations and Rasulullah was telling everything to Imam Ali alayhi salam. So if he just follows what Rasulullah told him to do, he's going to heaven, and he's still at 4 o'clock praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala endlessly. He went 3 days without food. People kept knocking on his door when it was time for iftar. What did he do? Gave him the food. His trip to heaven is guaranteed, and he's still giving food. This is true Iman, my brothers and sisters. This is true faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the true commitment. And this is exactly how you get into heaven. This is exactly how you get into the highest skies of heaven. Akhir da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, my brothers and sisters. In this holy month, like we've been saying, get as close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as you possibly can. Get close without overdoing yourself, without burning yourself out, without like people looking at you and saying, oh my God, this religion is so strict. This is not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked of us. The Holy Prophet Muhammad also said, don't burn yourself out. Imam Ali ibn Musa alayhi salam also said, don't burn yourself out. He said, in this month, if you want to do extra stuff, it's fine. But still, do not burn yourself out with ibadah 24/7. Inshallah, my brothers and sisters, a lot of people have been asking me to keep them in their prayers. Inshallah, those who ask shall be my prayers. And even those who don't ask, like we've been saying, pray for everybody. Everybody have all the corrections of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your prayer. Inshallah, you guys are all in my prayer. Inshallah, I'm going to read a dua for those in need. And like we've been saying, if you guys know anybody in need, help them out. Not only because you're going to get highly rewarded for it. Not only because you want people to look at you like, oh my God, this man is amazing. But because it's the right thing to do. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أتوجه إليك بمحمد وآل محمد ويقدم بين يدي صلواتي وأتقرب بهم إليك فاجعلني بهم وجها في الدنيا والآخرة ومن المقربين فإنها السدوت. نرى الآية الكريمة 10 مرات. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. أمن 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 يجيب المضطر إذا دعا ويكشف السوء. يا الله 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 يا الله. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يبعد عنا هذا البلاء يبعد عنا هذا البلاء. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to cure us of this virus. Of course, like we've been saying, my brothers and sisters, this could quite possibly be a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and just like every other test in your life, you do not want to fail this test. Of course, this test could quite possibly determine your akhirah. What have we been saying these last 13 days? Your akhirah is more important than your dunya. So if you, during this virus, have to pray more than you have ever prayed, pray more than you have ever prayed. If you gotta read dua more than you've ever read dua, read dua more than you've ever read dua. If you gotta read Quran more than you've ever read Quran, read Quran more than you have ever read Quran. This virus is very deadly. It could quite possibly be a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it's a test, we don't want to fail it. And if it's not a test, for those that are moving away from religion, for those that are forgiving their religion, they're selling their akhirah at this point. So make sure you're not going with the crowds. For those that are abandoning Islam, for those that are leaving Islam, saying, oh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with how almighty He is, with how strong He is, why is He not curing us of this virus right away? Like we've been saying, this could quite possibly be a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Seeing who's going to stay with religion and who's not. Who's going to stay close to Him and who's not. Who's going to attempt to get close to Him and who's not. And who's going to abandon Him and who's not. Just like the followers of Musa. When they were on the mountain, Musa told them, I'll be back in 30 days. ما رجع 30 يوم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال ارجع ب40 يوم. When he comes back after the 40 days, he believed he was still going to see them. He comes back after 40 days. There's not a single one there. Not one person is there. They had to wait an extra 10 days and they all abandoned him. Let's not be like that with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. آخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. رحمه الله من قرأ سورة المباركة الفاتحة مسبوقة بالصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.